So what does it take to be a thoughtful, mindful parent that invests in chinuch? What does it take? So it's a very interesting Hayom Yom, Chav Beis Tevis. The Rebbe puts into the calendar Hayom Yom, which means the Rebbe recommends this for every single person. And the Rebbe quotes an announcement. It's not even a statement or not even an akud the Rebbe Rashab was bringing about. An announcement the Rebbe Rashab made at a Farbring. He said, exactly the same way. It's a deraisa. It's mitzvah natayra to put on tefillin every day for Yad Yid, without any difference. A gadol batayra or ish pashut, same too. Is a choiv gomer. If jeder Iden zu trachten jeden Tag a halbe Stunde wegen dem Chinuch von Kinder. Every day he has to think about for a half an hour about the Chinuch of children. Und on als was is bekoichoi zu tun, he has to do whatever he can. And and more than his, I guess, would be his initial investment to poil sein by the Kinder to invest and to make sure that the children should grow in the way that they're mezei madrich, and the derech that they're being that's being put forth in front of them. So, ask a simple question, without going into how this is so practical. If you have 2 children, that's an hour a day. Okay. Now, the truth is, it doesn't sound from the Hayom Yom that it's specifically for your children, but even a half an hour a day, what are you thinking about? Okay. And this question is not only on the Hayom Yom; it's a real question. It's a real question about, what do I do if I'm a good parent and I want to make sure the chinuch of my children, they're getting the best they could do. They're getting the best they could get, and I'm doing the best job I could. What does it take? Is it to have all the answers correctly? Is that pshat? I need to be pashat a whiz. I need to know every sefer, every chinuch shitta that exists, and know which one applies to which child. So I'm going to say something that it's my own opinion, my own understanding in the Hayom Yom, and there was a few years ago, the Rebbe's Dr. Weiss spoke at the Kinnus HaShluchim. Was it Dr. Weiss or was Dr. Yes, they're from
Yishu Beisai.
Yeah.
It was Dr. Weiss.
Dr. Weiss. So Dr. Weiss said the following. He said that right after the story of Rosh Chodesh Kislev, after the Rebbe went through the heart attack, and finally Rosh Chodesh Kislev came and the Rebbe was able to go home. So he was watching the excitement of the Chassidim. They're getting so excited. And the Rebbe is actually finally going to his house. Okay? So he wanted to hear what the Rebbe has to say about it. And the Rebbe said, the Rebbe expressed himself that he's very excited. He's finally able to go home and drink tea with his wife. And the Rebbe tells this to Dr. Weiss. This half an hour that I drink tea with my wife is nagia to me. It's precious to me. It's meaningful. It's very central in my life as much as my putting on tefillin. Every day he drinks a half an hour tea with the Rebbetzin. And right away all the marriage mevinim went ballistic, which there are wonderful points to it, but it rang a bell. And it got me thinking. I remember this lashon of a half an hour, and as Chasha was putting on tefillin. And I reminded myself of this Hayom Yom, so I went to search the makar of the Hayom Yom. And the makar of the Hayom Yom is in the Friedrich Rebbe's letters, and it's quoted not once, not twice, it's quoted more than 3 times. What I came across. And in more than one of the times, it doesn't say Chinuch b'nei beisai. It says Chinuch beisai u'bnei beisai. To be mechanech his household and his children, which means also his wife. Now, a person is not just mechanech his wife, but what that gave me a little bit of an understanding is that when we're talking about a half an hour, it's not just as bonus a person's thinking half an hour. It's time a person puts in to be mindful about what's going on. Okay, it's fine to make mistakes if you learn from the mistakes. The only way to learn from mistakes is noticing what you're doing and thinking about it. And that's why we're getting together to think about different points. The goal is not just to give answers to every question, and not every parent has to have all the answers to every question. As long as he is mindful, he is putting in the time to think what's going on in his life. And therefore, it's not necessarily only for people that have children, and not only people that are mechanech children. And if all the children are married, that's it. No, for a person to be mechanech himself and his household and anyone around him, he has to be always conscious. And there's no one answer. It's not you hit the right book and now you know your son and now that's it. He has a mind of his own. He's going to do what he's going to do, and he's going to look to you for the way you solve issues, and therefore you solve your own issues and the way you run about life. And therefore, it's really, really about taking the time to think. Think about whether it's exactly a half an hour of sitting down and being mizbayin in a chinuch lav dafka. That's not what the Rebbe considered. The Rebbe sat with the Rebbetzin, and what they discussed is probably things going on and things the Rebbe is busy with. And that's a dogma. If it got to us, the way the Rebbe says the story of the Nasi that gets to us, it's about stopping, slowing down the pace, and rethinking, taking the time to think. And that goes for this. This is the emes about any issue in chinuch. You should know you will never be wrong if you took the time to think about it. You can make mistakes. If you had some sort of thought process behind it, then it will be excusable, and the mistake won't be able to go too far. What you do need to do is take the time, and therefore it's not necessarily about the specific problem you're dealing with. It's not necessarily you need to find, well, when there's a problem you should definitely look for a solution. But other than that, to prevent issues, the solution is